Hello, I'm Deanna DeCabros from Songwriting Lessons Online. If you love music, you'll already know how a great melody can make you feel. And if you're writing a song and you are not happy with your melody and you think that it sounds boring, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to start again or that the idea is definitely bad. Sometimes it just means that the melody isn't developing. By the end of this video, you are going to know how to take an uninspiring melodic phrase and make it more memorable and interesting using three very simple tools. One of them is going to be using repetition in a very specific way. One is going to be thinking about where we're going to hear new notes. And one is going to be how we contrast shorter and longer notes and how that can lift your melodic phrases. So something that can happen when we have some chords we're working with and we're perhaps improvising some vocal phrases over the top is that we go from one chord tone to the next nearest, and it can result in melodies that are a bit flat and they kind of drift around, they don't move very much, and they're not that catchy. So I'm just going to show you with a really silly line. I'm going to go, did you take the trash out? I've just gone from one note that matched the chords to the next nearest note. Did you take the trash out? And this kind of meandering around comes about because we haven't chosen a destination. It's fine to experiment, but sometimes you just need to experiment with a little bit of a destination in mind. Okay, so the first strategy is going to be that we are going to repeat our phrase, but we're going to change the ending. And once I give you some examples, you'll start recognizing this, and you've heard this like 100 billion times, and you'll probably start hearing it everywhere. So if you take happy birthday, your happy birthday to you, line 2 has identical rhythm, it's just changed the last two notes. Happy birthday to you. We experience that as being pretty different. So we just have kept most of our melody, we've just changed the last two notes. Think about Ode to Joy. Second line. Just the last bit's changed. And yet it feels to us like quite big difference. Example from a pop song. Dua Lipa from the song she had in Barbie, Dance the Night Away. You can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes. Literally just the same thing. Da 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 da, da 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 da. The last note is the only thing that changes. Chords change too, so that increases the feeling of change, but you get the point. Stevie Wonder, Isn't She Lovely? We've got, isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Ba da 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 da, da da da. Exactly the same. Da da da. Just got a couple of notes on the end. So that's adding a couple of notes, but we're still finishing up in a different place. You feel like we've gone somewhere new, even though only a tiny change has happened. There's only a tiny bit of additional music. Cyndi Lauper, Time After Time. Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you. Just da 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 da. All that's happened, we could divide those into two phrases of da 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 and then da 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 da. Same thing. It gives it this really nice shape. Shabuzi, a bar song. Here we've got 3 repeated lines, and then the end of the last line cues us into the next section. This works partly because each line's slightly longer. My baby wants a Birkin, she's been telling me all night long. Gasoline and groceries, the list goes on and on. This 9 to 5 ain't working, why the hell do I work so hard? Can't worry about my problems, I can't take them when I'm gone. So that last line goes down into the next section. So our second strategy is going to be to think about the rhythm and to contrast short notes and long notes. And this is usually a really good strategy for making our melodies sound more interesting. Now, if I just play this. Oh, that was a slightly poorly played scale. It's not music, but if I do this. Now it's Joy to the World. In the other direction, if we go. The scale. If I go, First Noel, the angels did say. Now it's a tune. So if we have all note lengths the same, it sounds very mechanical and nursery rhyme-ish, and we rapidly stop paying attention. Long notes are going to tend to create emphasis, and short notes will create movement. If every note's got the same weight, and the melody is likely to end up feeling a bit flat. But before you stretch a note, ask yourself which word actually deserves the time. Which word would you want to emphasize more? So let's just have a little go at that. Did you take the trash out? So that's like, actually, is it done? Then there's, did you take the trash out? That's, was it you that did it? Then if we have, did you take the trash out? That's like, what is it that we took out? And if we go, did you take the trash out? If we emphasize the last word, did you take the trash out? We're focusing on the completion or payoff. So rhythm is partly also telling the listener which words matter. Each one of those has got a slightly different identity, even though we're using pretty much the same chords. So making sure that the rhythm doesn't become mechanical, thinking about where to have longer notes and spaces is going to improve your melody. And a great way to apply this is to write one phrase with short notes and one with longer notes, play them one after the other, and see how you like the contrast that brings. Our third fix is that we're going to give the melody a high point. So we're going to decide where we're going to hear the highest note. When you have a melody that's just around the same notes, and then one note rises to an important word, we immediately notice it. So just in like, did you take the trash out? That's, we're noticing the word out. But if I go, did you take the trash out? The melody doesn't have to leap all over the place, but it helps if there's one bit that feels more spotlit than the rest. And we can use note length like we did above, and we can also use pitch. When we hear a new note for the first time, it's got extra impact. And if it's also in a higher pitch range, it's going to usually feel more urgent and dramatic. There's usually more urgency in the vocal delivery. We can use this for anything we want to spotlight. It might be the title, it might be the most emotional word, the confession, the twist, the something unexpected, whatever it is that you want the listener to notice most and feel most. And if you try this out, you will find that it usually works best if you don't use your highest note too early. Like, have enough of the song come first that when we get it, we're like, oh wow, that's great. It really feels new. So try this with a line from your own song. Sing the line in the most obvious way that occurs to you. Then repeat the phrase, but change only the final note. Make it higher or lower. Then try shortening some notes in the phrase and lengthening others. Then try altering the ones that you're lengthening. Then try choosing one word to make it the highest note. And you don't have to keep the result. The point is just to give yourself options, but it will give you loads of options if you're feeling like your melody is boring. Okay, well, I hope this helped. If you liked it, you might also like my free guide, 10 ways to get inspirations for songs. It gives you 10 practical ways to start songs when you're stuck. You can use again and again to get endless ideas. So I'm going to put the link below. And do please feel free to subscribe, like and share to anyone you think might find this useful. Thank you very much. I'm Deanna de Cabrera from Songwriting Lessons Online.